Welcome to Fluttering Dreams Butterfly Ranch. Today we're going to talk a little bit about giant milkweed and potter's weed.
I have, like a lot of people, I have different varieties of milkweed. And so the skinnier variety leaves of the milkweed, they just eat it so fast, right? So I decided I wanted to do a larger I wanted to go with the giant milkweed, and I wanted to do more giant milkweed because when you put the stalk of giant milkweed in there, the caterpillars, they don't devour it in like an hour like they do some of the others. So I want to show you my milkweed garden that I've grown. Okay, so this is going to be my milkweed garden, and as you can see, this one in the center right here, it was the first one that I planted. I planted this one. You see how tall it is? It's almost 10 foot tall. I planted this one in October, November of 2025. This is August, September of I planted that in October, November of 24, and this is August, September of 25. So that's how big it got, and I even cut it back last year. So I planted, this is white and pink giant milkweed in there. The reason you're seeing the yellow leaves is this is Florida. We've had a lot of rain lately. It is rainy season in Florida. They get a little bit more rain than they prefer, and that's why the leaves are, some of them are yellow. But this is going to be great because now this is going to be my giant milkweed garden for my monarchs. And as these plants grow and I cut them back each year, this whole area will just be solid with nothing but giant milkweed, which is going to help protect the caterpillars from predators such as birds, and I think they're going to love that area. So video number 2 that I thought I was recording and I wasn't. We're going to talk about potter's weed. So there are more than one variety of potter's weed, and most people know that the varieties of potter's weed is based upon color. Well, I have learned that that's not all that's all about. Potter's weed comes in a different variety of sizes. So I love potter's weed, and so do the butterflies and the bees, and I do have several potter's weed. So this one here is, some people call it blue, some people call it purple, potter's weed. And the butterflies and the bees, it's a great pollinator, they all love it. And then this one here, it's not blooming right at the moment, this is a coral potter's weed. There's some little tiny blooms starting right here. So you can see they're kind of like a rosy, like a peachy rose coral color. So the thing about it is, look at the larger variety. Look at those giant tentacles. It looks like Medusa is sticking up. Where the other potter's weed, they just kind of grow straight and a little bit more, confined, and it's easier to maintain. So the other thing is, look at the size of these leaves. The size of these leaves are the size of my hand. Well, when I bought this plant, it had small leaves like this because it was a smaller plant. This potter's weed this is how big the leaves are. So the difference between the leaves is this variety of potter's weed, I would say, kind of feels scratchy. The leaves feel scratchy, where this more giant one, the leaves feel more fuzzy. They have a fuzzier feel. So if you're wanting to have a potter's weed that's more controllable, this variety of potter's weed is easier to control. This variety of potter's weed just becomes some massive, I don't know, crazy looking monstrosity. I also have a red potter's weed that I planted back here yesterday. Let me take you back here and show you. So this is the red potter's weed that I planted back here yesterday. So they're very pretty, they're great pollinators, but if you're like me and you were not aware that there are different varieties of potter's weed, you may be getting a potter's weed that is bigger than your area can contain. So you'll just want to pay attention to the leaves, the size of the leaves, and the feel of the leaves. Are they fuzzy or do they feel rough? And if you like a potter's weed that's in someone else's garden, or if you're wanting an additional potter's weed to your garden, I would suggest picking off a leaf, taking that leaf with you, and then you'll know that you're getting the variety that you think you're buying. Because not all nurseries know everything. A lot of the wholesale nurseries, they're getting those plants from other nurseries, and they're just labeled potter's wheat. And they're not labeled, you know, the giant variety or the smaller variety. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and follow me for more butterfly gardening tips.